You are a surgeon. 10 years of training. The kind of hands other surgeons stop to watch when you work. You're also suspended. The licensing board took your credentials 9 months ago over a complaint that was not your fault, and the investigation has been grinding ever since, and the mortgage is 4 months behind, and your daughter's tuition bill is on the kitchen counter with a red past due stamp in the corner. The voice says he will pay you $40,000 cash. You grab your bag. The location is a warehouse with a back room fitted like a proper theater. Clean surfaces, surgical lights, a nurse already gloved and waiting who does not introduce herself. The patient has 2 bullets in his abdomen and about 15 minutes of runway left. You scrub in. Your hands find the work the way they always do. Like the rest of you stops existing, and it's only the problem and the solution your hands already know. 3 hours later, he is alive. The man at the door puts an envelope in your jacket pocket while you're still pulling off your gloves. You drive home. You put it in the kitchen drawer. You sleep better than you have in 4 months. You tell yourself it was one time. 3 weeks later, the phone rings again. Different numbers, a different voice. $55,000. You ask what the injury is. You're already looking for your bag. The second patient is a woman. Stab wound, 1 lung clipped. 3 hours. She makes it. On the drive home, you pass the hospital where you used to have privileges, and somewhere inside, a surgeon with a valid license is finishing a shift and will go home at dawn, and no one will hand him anything in an envelope. You think about that for exactly as long as it takes to get home. Then you stop. By month 3, you have a system, a separate phone, routes that change, locations you use once, a converted clinic above a restaurant, a private home with a surgical suite in the basement, a room behind a mechanic shop with a scrub sink run through the wall. You save a man shot 4 times, a teenager with a blade to the neck, a woman with broken ribs that punctured things they shouldn't have. The envelopes keep coming, and you stop counting them one by one and start counting them by month. Your license is reinstated on Thursday. Investigation closed. No wrongdoing found. You fold the letter. You put it in a drawer. A legal salary is not $55,000 a night. Month 4. A patient dies on your table. Not your fault. The damage was too old, too infected, too far gone before they brought him in. You said so when they carried him through the door. This man needs a hospital, a blood bank, imaging, and a team. The coordinator told you to try anyway. You worked 4 hours. His pressure dropped at 3 a.m. and it did not come back. You call it. The coordinator nods and makes a phone call in the corner. 40 minutes later, a van arrives. 2 men wrap the body in plastic sheeting with the efficiency of people who have done this many times before. Load it into the back and drive away. You ask where they're taking him. The coordinator says, "You don't need to know that." 2 weeks later, a news story stops you cold. A family is asking for help finding a missing relative. There's a photograph. You know that face. You put your phone face down on the kitchen table and sit with it for a long time. Then it rings. New patient, 45 grand. You answer it. Month 5, and you begin to understand how nothing ever gets traced. There's a detective on the east side whose job, among other things, is to make sure certain missing persons cases lose momentum before they find direction. You never meet him. You know he exists because a coordinator mentions one evening that a report connected to a patient from 3 weeks ago was redirected this morning. Not buried, redirected. Sent down a corridor it will walk for years without arriving anywhere. There are 2 patrol officers who send advance word when enforcement patterns shift in districts where you work. A health inspector who has never visited any of the 8 locations you've operated in. A hospital administrator who quietly amends post-operative records before they prompt questions. None of them look like criminals. They have families, school plays, and normal lives. They're paid monthly in amounts clean enough to never trigger anything. The network does not bribe the system. It employs it.